Hello. So just starting again with day 5 challenge. No one was showing up, and that, maybe the change in time or people have other things going on, and that's fine. But I was just wondering if people could actually get on the live. So I just started again. So here we go. So I'm going to start again with the Kadosh mantra. And we're working with claircognizance tonight, with activating claircognizance. And I've got a really special experience to guide you through tonight. So I'm sure that'll be divine timing for people, whether they show up live or at another time. So let's start with the Kadosh mantra. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zevios. 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 There's another version of that too that I work with when I need actually really high level protection. I work with the Elohim. We can place Elohim shields around, you can place Elohim shields around yourself, around your home, your car, whatever. So you can ask the Elohim to place an Elohim shield, and I work with the mantra Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zevios, Elohim Zavios, 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 Elohim Zavios. So tonight we're working with claircognizance, with the gift of, that comes from the word gnosis, means knowledge, direct insight. The way that I understand it is that we all have all these gifts, and some of them are more natural for some of us, they're stronger, and other gifts we may have shut down. We may have shut down in this lifetime or other lifetimes because we didn't feel safe to open to our gifts. So that's why one of the purposes of these lives is to really support you and assist you to open into your gifts. So to activate your gifts, to awaken them again. So let's get started with claircognizance. So sending a grounding cord down into the earth, right down into the earth. Wrapping it around a crystal at the core of the earth. Anchoring that right down into the earth. Bringing the connection with divine creator, divine source, however you understand that, and relate to that principle of divine creator, divine intelligence, divine source, the creative force of the universe. Bringing that energy down, you might like to imagine a stream of white light coming down through the crown, right down through the center of the body, down into the earth. Opening that out. So you're just surrounded and held in that divine protective energy. Welcome, Audrey. So, yeah, I'm glad you showed up. So I'm just getting started with, I was wondering if people were having trouble getting on tonight. Yeah, but I decided to just get on with it anyway. So thank you for showing up. So glad you're here. And just started with sending a grounding cord down into the earth. Wrapping around a crystal at the core of the earth. Bringing your connection with Divine Creator, Divine Source. Right down through the crown, right down through the center of the body, down into the earth. Opening that out. You're just feeling held in that divine energy. I think we'll start with the mantra to I was just doing the Kadosh mantra before and talking about the Elohim Zavios mantra. So I might do both of those again. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zavios. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zavios. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zavios. The Kadosh mantra creates a protective energy around you of holy light. It's a very powerful, beautiful mantra. You can really anchor that in the heart and really come into your connection with Divine Creator Source as you repeat the Kadosh mantra. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Zavios. 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 And really our connection with Divine Creator, Divine Source is so important. Actually in this work, working with the Akasha, but just living our life, it's just really essential to cultivate that connection. And one of the ways that you can do that is through working with the Kadosh mantra. And the other mantra I mentioned is actually working with the Elohim, who I work with a lot, very high vibrational. The Elohim, as I understand, are very, very high vibrational beings, very close to the divine energy. They're very high vibration. And you can call in the protection from the Elohim. You can actually create Elohim shields around yourself, around your home, around your car. I ask to create Elohim shields often around all my bodies. So, Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zavios, Elohim Zavios. The energy is slightly different than the Kadosh mantra. It's very specifically asking the Elohim, really calling in the Elohim for protection. Just feels right tonight. So, Elohim Zavios, 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 Elohim Zavios. And from that place, opening into the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha that's all around us, interpenetrating with the physical and non-physical reality. Letting the doors of awareness open to receive the love, light and wisdom of the Akasha. Calling in the Akashic Lords, Masters, Teachers, Guardians and Guides. calling my own personal team of guides, guardians, teachers, masters and angels. I'd like to call in your team as well, who are 100% aligned with divine love, light and truth. Come down the temples of love, light and wisdom of the Akasha to surround us in the sacred energy of the Akasha. Feeling the energy coming down around you. That's one of the beautiful things about working in the Akashic Records, that you're working in that sacred, protected space. It's still good to do some protection and, just do the usual practices that you do to work with integrity, but it's certainly a very high vibration, sacred space working in the Akasha. Really does assist to hold our energy better and to access information from a pure source. So opening the record tonight to activate the gift, awaken the gift of claircognizance. So we're going to start with a download, asking from the Akashic Masters and Lords a download to assist with activating the gift of claircognizance and awakening that. Letting this process be guided by your higher self and your team so as that unfolds in divine right timing for you. I'm seeing like a very pure, strong light, very powerful light. You might feel that, might feel the energy, you might even see the energy or hear the energy of the download of the frequencies. This feels like a very powerful download light. That's finished. Okay, so now we're going to do a guided experience that in the day preparing, coming up to doing the live, I just ask and tune in to what I need to bring and just open to receive the ideas for the experience. And I've shown an image of a wise man, walking up a path up a mountain. And we all have that wise part of ourself, that wise man or wise woman archetype. And sometimes we go looking for that to other people, but we all have that ourselves. And the gift of claircognizance really assists you to get in touch with that source of wisdom in your own being, and that place where you can ask questions and access the wisdom of the universe, access the wisdom from all lifetimes, and receive that knowing and that knowledge, and more as a knowing, often with claircognizance, something we just know, as if we're tapping into that fountain of wisdom. So we're going to go on a guided journey again. That seems to be the theme. Welcome, Anna. So yeah, and Rajneshwari, great, lovely. Thanks for showing up live. So we're just starting now with the guided experience. So just imagine we're all sitting in a circle and you're just coming into the energy and attuning to the energy, because we've done quite a bit of energy work here. So you're just coming in and attuning to the energy, aligning with the energy, receiving the download, the activation for claircognizance, because you're just coming into the energy. And just allowing yourself to attune to the energy, sending your grounding cord down into the earth, right down into the center of the earth, wrapping it around a crystal at the core of the earth. Bring in your connection with Divine Creator Source. You might like to imagine a stream of white light coming down through the crown, right down through the center of the body. Nice. And we've already done the opening into the energy of the Akasha. So you're just in that energy now, receiving that, in that sacred energy. You've come into that sacred energy of the Akasha. Receiving the download and activation for claircognizance that we're working with tonight. Today might be for you, today is tonight for me. Claircognizance is that knowing. Cognizance comes from the word gnosis, which means knowledge, but it's not knowledge of the head, it's more like wisdom. And I thought tonight we would work with the wise man archetype, or the wise woman archetype. That's the image I was given to work with. I saw a wise man walking up a path, up a mountain. And we all have that wise man and wise woman. And I think working with claircognizance is a really great opportunity to get in touch with that, to awaken that part of ourself, that wise part of ourself. This was the guidance I received for claircognizance. So that's the guided experience we're going to do tonight. So often we go seeking that wisdom to other people, when really we have access to all of that ourselves. We have access to that, if you like, fountain of wisdom, the universal wisdom. We have access to that, each of us. Through asking questions, through sitting in meditation, through just being open to receive. We can tap into that universal wisdom, universal knowledge, universal truth. That wise man, wise woman archetype in yourself. So we're going to go on a journey. So you might like to imagine you see a path before you in a mountain. It's not a really, really huge mountain. It's just a mountain that, more like a, you can call it a mountain, but it's one that you can, it's a small mountain, one that you can actually just climb to the top. It's not like snow covered or something like that. It's just a mountain that you can actually climb up, more like a something between a hill and a mountain probably, and you can just climb up it, follow the path and go up to the top of this mountain. So you see the path. It's a winding path. It sort of winds and meanders. And you see an old man, an ancient man or an ancient woman holding a lantern, showing you the way. So we're opening the vibrational record to activate. We've done that. For this experience of activating the wise man or wise woman archetype to really assist us to tap into our inner wisdom and knowing through the gift of claircognizance. This is a really deep approach to claircognizance, really activating that inner self. So seeing the path and just beginning to walk. It's a sunny day. You see this winding path going up a mountain. You might notice some rocks and bushes to the side of the path. And our path's always a metaphor, so it's a metaphor for our inner experience. So whatever you notice on the path in some way has meaning for you as you wander up this path with the wise man or wise woman holding the lantern. They also have a staff, as wise men and wise women often do. Going to guide you to the top of the mountain, to a special place at the top of the mountain. You're just walking up the path and just noticing what you notice on the way. You might notice trees or bushes, rocks. Might be a bird flying overhead. If you're just joining us, just coming into the energy as if you're just joining us in a circle and just calibrating with the energy. Setting your grounding cord down, connecting with Divine Creator Source, and just coming into the energy. Seeing a path before you. We're working with claircognizance and the wise man or wise woman archetype, and you might see a wise man or wise woman, or just sense their presence holding a lantern with a staff, or you might see them a different way, guiding you as you walk up this path that goes up this mountain to a special place, assisting you to connect with your inner wise man or wise woman. Just following the path. It's a bright sunny day. Just noticing what you notice, because everything's a metaphor for your journey. If there's rocks or blocks in the way, what's that about? What's that block on the road, on the path? And just keeping going up the path, noticing that everything's a metaphor for your journey. Just walking up this path as it meanders up this mountain. The path seems to be getting steeper and steeper as you go higher up the mountain. The air's getting cooler and lighter. There's a sense of an elevation of energy. You might feel a gentle breeze blowing. Just keeping walking up the path. And this wise man or wise woman's taking you to a special place, a special crystal cave. Just following the path. It's okay if it winds, if it goes up and down a bit. Just trusting the wise man or wise woman to guide you. Trusting yourself that you too know the way. You too have that wise man and wise woman in yourself. Just noticing any thoughts, any emotions that are coming up. Just observing them. staying focused on the path, putting one foot in front of another. Just noticing the energy change, and the air getting cooler as you go higher up. It's still sunny, but the air's cooler and lighter. Path seems to be getting steeper, as paths do sometimes when you're getting closer to the top. You might even be feeling a bit tired, a bit distracted. But just keep going. That's always the time when we get closer to the top, to just keep going. And you do notice what looks like a cave ahead. And you approach the cave. The wise man or woman holds the lantern for you. And you go inside. They go first, so the path's lit for you. And as you go through the first, it's a bit of a tunnel first, then it opens into a cavern, a crystal cavern. All the walls are just covered in crystals, shimmering crystals, and the light just lights it up. It's absolutely magnificent. And you feel the vibration of all the crystals as if they have a tone and a note, as if they're just vibrating in all your cells and waking them up. And you find a place to sit in the crystal cave. There are some cushions around and places to sit. You just find a seat. Let yourself just receive the energy, the activation of these crystals, these ancient crystals in this ancient cave. You realize your guide is very ancient too. And in this place, it's as if you're remembering that ancient part of yourself, that wise part of yourself that's been with you for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. All that knowledge and wisdom of your soul. I'm just sitting here and receiving the energy. Just noticing how that shows up for you. And really remembering that wise part of yourself, that ancient part of yourself. Sometimes think of the ancient wise part of myself like an ancient rock that's been standing for a long time, that's been weathered and been through so many experiences that have just made it stronger. How do you see the wise part of yourself? Just see what comes to you, because claircognizance is just a knowing. How do you feel, see, experience that wise part of yourself? What's your sense of that? Does it have an image or a feeling? Or is it more like a remembering, like a knowing? You just know this part of yourself, this wise part, as if it's been with you since the beginning of time. If you're just joining us, you might like to imagine we're all sitting in a circle and you're just coming into the circle and attuning to the energy. And you may join us. You're sitting in a crystal cave, so you might like to see yourself at the entrance to this crystal cave and just coming in with us, sitting down. There's a wise, ancient one, ancient man or woman holding a lantern. So the cave's quite brightly lit. It is just, all the walls are crystal. It's a cavern of crystal. It's so beautiful and it has a vibration. So you're just sitting in here. Allow yourself to just find a place to sit and soak in that vibration, and connecting, about just sitting quietly and connecting with, remembering that wise part of yourself that you know, as if you're remembering that that's been with you for a long, long time, that part that just knows, it just knows things. The deep connection with that deep ancient wisdom that just knows. Notice how you experience that part of yourself, that ancient part that's been with you since the beginning of time, through all your experiences, collected the wisdom and memories, and you have access to all of that. So when you ask a question and you just know the answer, because you're tapping into that like fountain of wisdom to which you have access. You might like to ask a question now, a question about something that's been really sitting with you, something you'd like to know the answer to, something even that you've been struggling with or wondering. Just asking the question now and listening, feeling, sensing, being open to receive the answer as a knowing, however that comes to you. From this deeper, wise part of yourself, it might come as pictures, symbols, feelings. You realize you do know the answer, you've always known it. Now you just feel, know that answer. Sometimes when we know things, it even can be challenging to articulate it, but we just know it. So welcome if you're just joining us. I'd like to imagine we're all sitting in a circle and you're just coming into the circle, sitting down, calibrating to the energy. And we've journeyed to a crystal cave in the Akasha, connecting with our wise man or wise woman archetype. I'd like to imagine now you're in that crystal cave with us. You've just been transported there. There's a wise man or wise woman holding a lantern. So the cave is lit up. It's like a cavern with crystal walls. Just feel the energy of that. See the crystals, the light, the resonance. As if you might feel and sense and see that with all your cells, your body, like a resonance. Just activating that wise part of yourself, that ancient part of yourself that's been with you since the beginning of time. Just sitting down in the cave, just connecting with that part of yourself. Often we go looking for the answers outside of ourselves, when really they're inside of ourselves. We have access to all of that universal wisdom, that knowing. does that part feel like? That ancient part, that wise part. What does it look like? It might even have a particular form. It can be a figure or an animal, a bird. And then you might like to ask a question. Something you've been struggling with perhaps, or wondering. And just receiving the answer, knowing that you know the answer. In this place, the answer just comes to you in some way, as a knowing. That deep fountain of wisdom you now have access to. And if you've been sitting here for a while, you might like to ask another question. Sitting here in this spaciousness, in this ancient place, asking a question and receiving the answer. Being open to receive the answer in all the ways that comes to you. As a knowing, as a light or colour or energy. Something you've always known. You don't know how you know it. You realise you always knew it. You're just connected with that place that has direct access to universal wisdom. The answer might come to you as an energy, as a light, as a feeling. You might feel that, sense that somewhere in your body. And sitting here in the cave, noticing how you feel as this ancient wise part of you wakes up. You might feel all your cells activated and full of light, as if the light is waking up in all of the cells and more alive with energy. So many people have sat in this ancient crystal cave. There's so much beautiful sacred energy here, helping you to remember yourself deeply, helping you to remember that ancient wise part of yourself. Just letting that integrate now, letting your experience integrate now. We're just going to take a few moments to integrate our experience before we journey back. And trusting that this experience can continue to unfold. Answers can come in other ways. It can come in dreams. They can come in a book that you open, a page that you open, something you see. That's claircognizance. It can just wake up, that tap into that wisdom that then can even take an external form, how that comes to you. And you just know that's the answer. Someone might say it, say something to you, and that's the answer to your question. It's as if there, in that moment, that person's an expression of yourself, of that wise part of yourself, speaking to you. The book or the picture. Okay. I'm just getting ready now to journey back, and if you just joined us in the cave, you're now going to have the experience of journeying down the mountain with us. And so, Seeing the wise man or woman holding the lantern and moving out of the cave now, moving out of the cavern. There's a small tunnel, not very long, and it's lit by the lantern. You just make your way out. And you find yourself outside in the fresh air. It's getting later in the afternoon now, and you see the path there going down the mountain. And begin to walk. You notice you feel refreshed perhaps, and just noticing how you feel. Different, changed by that sacred experience in some way. Just walking down the path, following that down the mountain. Noticing you can move along it quite quickly now, whereas coming up seemed to take a long time, but moving down you can move along it quite quickly. It even seems as if you're almost flying at times with that energy you've awakened. You know the way. Just find yourself moving very quickly down the mountains and down the mountain easily. Noticing what you notice. Anything next to the path. You might notice things that you noticed on the way back, on the way up, or if you're just journeying down it for the first time, just noticing what you notice, any bushes or rocks or birds. Everything's just a symbol, a metaphor, has some meaning on your journey. Notice we're getting close to the bottom of the mountain, the bottom of the path. When you reach the bottom, you give thanks to the wise man or woman who's guided you on this beautiful sacred journey. Knowing that you can come back and visit this place anytime you like. Feel a deep sense of thanks and gratitude in your heart for this beautiful experience. Give thanks from your heart. Then you find yourself coming back into the room, back into, you're feeling your feet on the floor. If you're just joining us, we're just finishing up now. You might like to go back and listen from the beginning. Just find yourself fully back in the room, feet on the floor, sitting on the chair, or on the floor, wherever you started. Just becoming aware of the room around you. Opening your eyes when you're ready, making sure you're fully back, fully grounded. This was a very deep experience tonight. You might like to make sure you're grounded after this, have a cup of tea. If it's daytime, you might like to, well, some people like to walk outside at night too, walk outside, look at the sky, even look at the stars, your feet on the ground. Make sure you're really grounded after deep experience. This felt very transformative, this experience, very deep. Every day has been different. This was a really deep one. So I hope you've enjoyed this experience, and if you've just joined us, you're welcome to just go. When I post the video, you can go through and listen. We've done a beautiful guided experience with, first of all, with downloading a download to activate claircognizance, and then we've done a guided journey with an ancient one, a wise man or woman who's guided us up a mountain path to a crystal cave where you've sat and connected with that ancient wise part of yourself. Remembered that and asked a question. So thank you for joining me live. That was pretty deep and amazing. Yeah, was sort of funny tonight. I thought no one was going to show up, so I thought there might be some difficulty getting onto the video, and so I just kept going and thought, yeah, I'll just get started. But gradually people joined, and it was so lovely. Thank you all for joining and sharing this beautiful experience with me. And I know it's always perfect. People will listen to this in their own right time. And, you know, it has been a big week with the experiences. It may even be a lot for people to go through guided experience after guided experience. So you might like to spread them out if you like. Listen to them in your own time. The videos will stay up in the group. So, you know, if you haven't gone through the challenge yet, you can listen to them in the group. They'll be up in the group. And so we're at the end of the 5-day challenge. And if you've enjoyed this probably very different approach to working in the Akashic Records, you might like to, if you're really drawn to develop your gifts more and working with the Akashic Records, you're welcome, Amara. So you might be interested in my course. We already have a few people joining that course in November, starting on the 4th of November. It's a small group course, a 7-week course where you get the chance to develop your skills in quite a broad way working with the Akasha. So we do reading the Akashic Records, learning to ask questions and receive accurate information, learning to do healing in the Akashic Records, learning to do activation and guided experiences similar to, you know, learning to develop your own ways. Oh, welcome, Rhonda. We're just finishing up. I'm just having a bit of a talk about a wind up, just talking about if people wanted to develop their gifts more, working with the Akashic Records. It's been a beautiful 5 days, going really deep. And one of the reasons I do this is to give people an opportunity to experience, you know, how I work with the Akashic Records. So some people, if you're called and drawn to that, may wish to develop your gifts further working with the Akashic Records. So it's good to know there's so many different ways of working with the Akashic Records. The way I teach is very that's all right, Rhonda. So yeah, it was a funny night tonight. I sort of felt I did so much protection work I might have actually kept people away. I wondered that. I needed to do a lot of protective work. I felt I did so much protection. People might not be able to get on the video. So it was a bit of a funny sense of energy tonight, but a very beautiful sacred experience. So you're always welcome to reach out to me if you have any questions about the course that's starting on the 4th of November. That will be a 7-week course, and we'll really go deep with learning to clear contracts and curses and things like that, learning to clear different, learning to do a lot of clearing work and preparation work to really support you, opening up your intuition and working with the Akashic Records. There is some heat, Audrey. I think it's very, very high energy activation. Yes, I can feel some heat too in my body now you mention it. I was feeling that before as well, I think. I really did set up some high energy protection, and we've had some powerful activation. So that can create heat in the body, that sacred fire. Oh, that's so beautiful, Amara. Oh, Yes, exactly. We have to dive into the ocean and bathe in it, immerse in it, know that you really do get to experience that and have that and be that. That's so beautiful, Amara. Mm. Yes, I know you really want to do the course, and that intention and, you know, joining in the experiences and, yeah, receiving your own answers. Wow, that's so powerful, Amara. Thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful. Sometimes we do just stand watching, but we don't dive in. Yeah, I feel that experience is meant to really help you to shift your energy. You know, sometimes things just take time. Sometimes we're not ready. Everything has divine timing. One of the things that can happen is that we give up. That we give up when we're almost there. So things have their own timing. We put out an intention and we start, you know, the universe starts, or, you know, the divine starts bringing that to us, however you understand that. And it just takes what time it takes. There is no time. So the point is to keep holding the energy, keep doing the work, keep focusing. Intentions take how long they take. The thing is not to give up before you reach the intention, to know that it's on the way. That is such a beautiful, powerful experience. I feel it's really shifted your energy and brought you into a closer resonance with being ready to do the course. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I do offer a lot of guided experiences in the group. So I think, you know, Amara, you're already developing, you already are working with the Akashic Records and developing and growing and raising your vibration. So it's all part of the journey. It's not like the journey doesn't start until you do the course. It's already started. It's already you're where you need to be and on the way to the next place, the next vibration, the next experience. It's all perfect divine timing. Trusting that, keeping going, keeping your intention. That's something I learned. Sometimes we think that something we often don't understand, that I've learned from my experience, is we expect things to happen quickly. And actually, for things to come into the physical takes time and effort. So that's what people sometimes don't understand about manifesting. People think you just think something and ask for it and it happens just like that, and that can happen. At other times, to bring something into the physical takes effort, takes focus, takes time, and that's where people give up, because they're like, oh, it's not happening, it's not, you know. I used to give up on things when they didn't happen quickly. But I've learned to just keep holding the vibration, keep holding the focus, keep holding the energy and the faith of that in the right timing, right way, and not trying to control it. Just letting it show up in its own right way and right time, and knowing that it is on the way, and not giving up, because sometimes we give up when we're almost there, when we're almost in that place. And I can actually really feel your vibrations shifted a lot recently, Amara, and it will keep shifting, and it's divine timing. So thank you for being here. Exactly. It's all part of the journey. It's all perfect and divine timing. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me, and that's the end of our week of the challenge, and I'll be offering another intro. We'll see how we go with timing. Probably one introduction to the Akashic Records. So you're welcome to come to that. Amara, whoever's here, you're welcome to come to that, and let's practice opening into the Akashic Records together, and I can assist you with any blocks, with any, do some healing work, answer any questions. So I'll be putting that up in the group. An introduction to the Akashic Records, and that video will be up in the group also for a little while. So that'll be my next offering in the group, and thank you. I really appreciate you all showing up live and joining me. It's always such a beautiful sharing with the community. I'm very grateful for the people that show up live and share with me. Yes, Amara, I would love you to join. That's what I was feeling too. Come and join, and we'll do some work together. It'll be lovely to see you again, and you're all welcome to join the introduction to the Akashic Records, working with the Akashic Records. You're welcome, Anna. So if you come live to the introduction to the Akashic Records, I can assist you, because obviously in this video, some people get stuck with different things, but they don't have the personal interaction for assistance. And so if you come live, I can give you personal assistance where you're getting stuck. And I've seen people shift some big things just in the introduction, and start, just shift some blocks and start tapping into their gifts more fully. So we can do that in the introduction. You're welcome to come, and whoever's there, I will just give assistance to as I'm able to on the at the time. So thank you for joining me. Wishing you a beautiful weekend, and look forward to sharing with you in the group. I'd love to hear about your experience, how that was for you. I always like to hear about people's experience. I understand not everyone wants to share, so that's okay too. I really appreciate you sharing, Amara. That's such a beautiful experience. I can really feel the depth and power of that experience, and I really feel your gifts have opened up so much. I actually feel and sense you've been through something quite strong in the last while and made a shift. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm teaching my class tomorrow. Then looking forward to Sunday and some relaxing time. So thank you.